Lesson 5: Evidences of Science and Technology during Pre-Columbian Times, 1500 BC to 1500 AD. This is presented by Seth Gamaliel and Boral and Sherwin and Boral. Topics: Olmec civilizations, Maya civilizations, Aztec civilizations, and Inca civilizations. Olmec civilization. Location: the first great Mesoamerican civilization. They thrive along the southern Gulf Coast of Mexico, mainly in the present-day states of Veracruz and Tabasco, from about 1200 to 400 BC. Culture was slightly influential on later societies, such as Maya and Aztec. Science and technology development. The name Olmec means rubber people in Nahuatl, the language of Aztec. The term rubber people refers to the ancient practice, spanning from ancient Olmecs to Aztecs, of extracting latex from Castilla elastica, a rubber tree in the area. The juice of a local vine, Ipomoea alba, was then mixed with this latex to create rubber as early as 600 BCE. Olmecs constructed permanent city temple complexes at San Lorenzo, Tenochtitlan, La Venta, Tres Zapotes, and Laguna de los Cerros. The principal architectural structure found in La Venta ruins was the vast clay pyramids decorated with elaborate carvings. Common among places is the colossal heads that is made from basalts, which symbolizes thrones. There are also monuments and other major pieces of Olmec art such as masks and figurines. Olmecs are known to cultivate cacao, rubber, and salt. It is also observed that they are using elaborate water and drainage system. They manufacture chocolate drinks. There are evidences that suggest the Olmec practiced human sacrifice and cannibalism. The calendar used in Mexico may also have originated from the Olmec. They also studied astronomy since they are obsessed with the timing of religious ritual. Animal gods were features of Olmec culture. Olmec traded goods such as obsidians, ceramics, jade, serpentine, mica, rubber, pottery, feathers, and polished mirrors of ilmenite and magnetite. La Venta went into decline around 400 BC, and the Olmec civilization vanished along with it. The Maya civilization. Location: the ancient Mayans are a diverse group of indigenous people who live in parts of present-day Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. It is regarded as one of the most important pre-Columbian Mesoamerican cultures. The Mayans are credited with a number of remarkable scientific achievements in various scientific fields such as astronomy, engineering, medicine, and mathematics. Science and technology development. The Mayans not only made a great progress in agriculture but also made a big break in technology. The architectural and engineering skills were manifested in the grandeur of their tall pyramid of limestones, with the small temples on the top constructed like an arc, supported by two side walls, bridged by a row of flat stones, and ornamented by steeples or roof combs. They are usually made of chert, obsidian, silicified limestone, and jade. As far as astronomy was concerned, they tracked the movements of the stars and planets across the sky. We were able to accurately predict celestial events such as eclipses. To the Mayan, Venus was the most important astronomical object. The Mayans also discovered an accurate calendar. The ritual calendar that developed in Mesoamerica used a count of 260 days. This calendar gave each day a name much like our days of the week. There were 20-day names, represented by their respective symbols. The written language of Mayan was made out of about 800 glyphs or symbols. Each one represented a word or a syllable and could be combined with the others in an almost infinite number of ways. As a result, there were 3 or 4 different ways to write every word in the Mayan language. The Aztec civilization. Location. The Aztecs established their city of Tenochtitlan, present-day Mexico City, in 1325 AD. The Aztecs are best known as violent people who expanded their empire through ruthless warfare. They also had a reputation of making human sacrifices in elaborate rituals that often involved the removal of beating hearts to appease their many gods. They practice a highly organized system of government and a language, Nahuatl. Science and technology development. The advances demonstrated in Aztec technology are so remarkable that they are still looked upon adoringly to this day. Just a few of the Aztec accomplishments have been the development of mathematics, the canoe, the highly specialized Aztec calendar, and remarkably helpful forms of medicine. Aztec tools were made of obsidian and chert. Near the time they were conquered by Spanish conquistadors, advances in Aztec technology leads to the experimentation of making tools with copper. Axe blades, bows, and arrows were being made with either stone or copper. Aztec technology were so advanced that they even made drills which were made of reed or bone. Aztec technology were familiar with the wheel. The wheel, however, was only used in toys. Aztec developed dug-out canoes with which they transported themselves and their goods throughout the many canals, lakes, and waterways found in the Valley of Mexico. The Aztec were very advanced scientific thinkers and mathematicians. The Aztec number system was far more advanced than the other cultures at the time. Aztec astronomy was also an important component of their calendar, which reflected heavily on their gods. The Aztecs were also advanced in the development in medicine. In fact, Aztec medicine was found in many forms such as ointments, drinks, and salves. The spectacular art of Aztec technology has been recorded in the Badianus manuscript, which was created by Aztec artists in 1552. The Inca civilization. Location. Flourished in Andean region of South America from the early 15th century AD up until its conquest by the Spaniards in the 1530s. One of the Inca civilization's most famous surviving archaeological sites in Machu Picchu is Machu Picchu, which was built as a retreat place for an Incan emperor. The Incas called their empire Tawantinsuyu, the land of the four corners, and its official language was Quechua. It was the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. The Inca Empire originated at the city of Cusco in what is today Peru. To support this empire, a system of roads stretched to almost 25,000 miles. Science and technology. They are rich in maize or corn and dried llama, cocoa leaves, and alcohol. Other consumable goods include sweet potato, quinoa, beans, and chili peppers. Cocoa leaves were used in a moderate amount to lessen hunger and pain during work, but were mostly used for religious and health purpose, as well as during surgeries as an anesthetic. Mummification of individuals was an important part of Inca funerary rites. November is described as being the month of carrying the dead, a time when people would try to feed the mummies of their ancestors. Striking artistry were its textiles. Finest grade of cloth was called kumpi, being reserved for the emperor and nobility. Clothes were woven out of wool from dried llamas and alpaca or vicuna wool and cotton. Objects were made out of gold and silver. Inca stones were also considered to be very fine. Their craftsmen fitted building stones together perfectly without using any mortar, such that an object as thin a razor blade could not be inserted between the stones. Inca calendars were strongly tied to astronomy. The Inca calendar was essentially lunisolar, as two calendars were maintained in parallel, one solar and one lunar. 12 lunar months fall 1 day short of a full 365 solar year. Equinoxes, solstices, and Venus cycles are observed. The Inca used assemblages of knotted strings known as quipu, used as mnemonic device or to record numerical data, and also believed to record history and literature. The Inca made many discoveries in medicine. They performed such successful skull surgeries, which involved cutting holes in the skull in order to alleviate fluid buildup and inflammation caused by head wounds. Physical measures employed by the Inca were based upon human body parts: fingers, the distance between the thumb to forefingers, palms, cubits, and wingspans were among those units used. The most basic unit of distance was tatki or 1 pace. The Inca weaponry included bronze or bone-tipped spears, two-handed wooden swords with serrated edges, clubs with stones and spiked metal heads, woolen strings and stones, stone or copper-headed battle axes or bolas, stones fastened to lengths of cord. That's all. Thank you for watching.